Let's just jump right into this explainer and demystify the PMBOK Guide 8th edition. Look, if you're a project management practitioner, you already know how massive this body of knowledge is. Getting your hands on the latest edition can still feel, well, a little daunting, right? So today, we're going to tackle this by looking at it like an architectural blueprint. We're going to break down its structure, understand its core foundations, and see exactly how the walls and the roof all fit together so you can build really successful projects. So here's our blueprint for today. First up, 1 volume, 2 books. Then the foundation, which is the standard. After that, the framework, also known as the guide. Then we'll look at the 3 modern appendices, and finally, we'll wrap up with connecting the foundation and framework. All right, let's kick things off with section 1. 1 volume, 2 books. 400. A 400-page manual sounds incredibly intimidating at first glance, doesn't it? I mean, that's a hefty chunk of reading. But the brilliant thing about the 8th edition is that it is beautifully organized. It's not just some continuous brain dump of project management theory. It actually has a very deliberate, thoughtful architecture to it. The way it's set up completely nails the duality of the book. It's actually 2 distinct publications physically bound together. You've got part 1, the standard, which represents the foundational why of project management through core principles. And then part 2 is the guide, which gives you the practical what and how through specific domains. It totally separates the overarching strategy from the day-to-day operational mechanics, which just makes the whole thing so much easier to digest.
Moving right along to section 2, the foundation, the standard.
This foundation was actually built on a very specific real-world demand. PMI did some research and found that an overwhelming 80% of practitioners wanted principles that were genuinely actionable in their daily work. Think about it. Project managers didn't just want lofty, abstract theories anymore. They needed a real compass to guide their on-the-ground decision-making.
And the solution to that demand? These 6 core principles. You need to adopt a holistic view, focus on value, embed quality, be an accountable leader, integrate sustainability, and build an empowered culture. Now, you absolutely need to take note of that brand new inclusion there. Integrate sustainability. This isn't just a footnote anymore, folks. It's a required mindset. It pushes us to really consider the environmental, social, and long-term organizational impacts of literally every project decision right from day one. It's a true game changer. Let's shift gears to section 3, the framework, the guide.
So this operational half of the book is built around 7 performance domains that you're going to be managing in parallel. Remember, these are not sequential phases. They're integrated areas of work that you're constantly balancing. And notice the updated names here. Governance replaces integration to reflect a much broader scope of decision-making and oversight. Finance expands way beyond simple cost management to cover budgeting, funding, and value maximization. Oh, and if you've been around the block a few times, you're going to be thrilled to see schedule and risk finally restored as standalone domains.
Now, wait a second. You might be wondering, where did quality and communications go? Don't worry, they haven't disappeared at all. Instead, they are now continuously embedded responsibilities across all of those domains we just talked about. Quality is no longer just a phase and activity, it's everywhere. And the exact same goes for stakeholder communications. As for procurement, well, that's actually been moved entirely to become its very own appendix.
All of these domains are executed within 5 focus areas, which, let's be honest, you'll probably recognize as the former process groups: initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, and closing. These areas house 40 non-prescriptive processes. And what is just so fantastic about this 8th edition is that it's completely methodology agnostic. Seriously, whether your team runs pure waterfall, strict Scrum, or some messy, beautiful hybrid of the two, this framework applies perfectly to your workflow.
Okay, moving on to section 4, the 3 modern appendices. Now, we have a massive milestone to talk about. We are looking at the very first official PMI guidance on utilizing artificial intelligence in project contexts. This covers exactly how we should be using AI for decision support, task automation, understanding the totally new risk implications that AI brings to the table, and establishing responsible AI governance. I mean, it is absolutely huge for our profession.
The other 2 appendices are honestly just as impactful. Appendix A elevates project management offices, or PMOs, from being seen as just these mere compliance gatekeepers. Now they're positioned as strategic value enablement functions that actually align with high-level organizational goals. Meanwhile, Appendix C gives procurement and contracting the dedicated deep dive it deserves. It treats it as a highly specialist function that varies wildly depending on your specific industry context.
bringing it all home with Section 5, Connecting Foundation and Framework.
Think about this. Managing scope without the holistic view principle means managing scope in isolation. You see, you really cannot apply the PMBOK guide effectively without deeply understanding the standard. Those 6 principles, they aren't just a nice intro chapter you skip over. They are the essential lens through which every single performance domain must be applied if you want to avoid disaster. If you try to manage the what without understanding the why, your project's architecture is fundamentally going to lack integrity. It's like building a house on sand.
So, as you apply the 8th edition to your own work, you've got to ask yourself this vital question. Are you building your project framework on a solid foundation? Don't just skip ahead to the 40 processes and the 7 domains. Start with those principles. Adopt that holistic view. Focus intensely on the value, and integrate sustainability into your everyday thinking. That is how you truly master the PMBOK Guide's 8th edition. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, keep building great things out there.